I don't have to be blank in tomorrow's class. I just want to understand what will be going in the class. As a person who has been through this rigor of 2 years, I would highly recommend to even touch the exhibits. A part of clubs and committees do give a sense of responsibility for you people.
Hello everyone, welcome to the new episode of IIM Unplugged, brought to you by Student Alumni Committee of IIM Rohtak. We are delighted to have Sheela Dhanita, alumni of IIM Rohtak from PGP 13 as our guest speaker today. She is currently working in ICICI Bank as a management trainee, and also she is a rank holder in her batch. Thank you so much for Sheela for joining us today. So let's hear about from her, like what are the stories she wanted to share with us.
So, hi, and thanks for the Alcom to invite me for this session. It's a pleasure to give back to the community in which I have been part of. So, it's always a pleasure to dedicate back to the campus on whatever I have learned. So, yes, I wanted to share on few things which has been like very vital part of every student at an IIM. Main thing which was the topic today I wanted to speak on is related to the case studies, which every person in an IIM would be dedicatedly doing every single day and for the 2 years, and it would become handy day by day, which I get it. But yes, there are certain tips and tricks which obviously would help for anybody who is approaching a case study. So I think in terms of case study, it is not just the ones which you are going to solve in your classes. I just want to touch upon the case studies which is apart from classes in terms of case competitions as well. And there are certain things which should be done uh, like before case analysis and after case analysis. So as a person who has been through this rigor of 2 years, I would highly recommend to even touch the exhibits very dedicatedly so that you know the nuances of the case and the solution that you're going to put in front of the class would be something very meaningful, and it would not be something very artificial or just came out of reading the cases. So this is one of the important thing which most of the people would miss on. The second important thing when it comes to case study is that we always stick to our own point of view. Maybe like we don't want to diverge from what we are thinking, but case studies are a pedagogy wherein we are supposed to open up and engage with others and open our point of view as well during the discussion, or maybe during the presentation, or maybe during the preparation time. We would have formed a certain view from the case protagonist point of view as well. Since we'll be in their shoes, we would have formed a certain point of view from our thought process, but you should always have the flexibility to move from it and learn from others, because certain people would have more value to add to it. So this will help you not only in terms of solving the cases, but also when you move out of the campus into corporate world. It is not just about your point of view, right? You have to be a person who can get adjusted to your team members point of view. So this would help in that manner in solving a real time problem, I'm saying. And then the third thing is to engage very actively in the class part, the class discussions, wherein like we would see certain people who are very introverts finding it very difficult to participate in the case discussions. But yes, we should. This will help in opening up and bringing their confidence level to a higher level. In case if they are doing the first two things right, maybe having a small discussion with your friends group before you go to the classes would even help you better in participating actively in the discussion. So discussion in terms would always not be pointed in certain way. When the professor asks as a protagonist, how would you approach this case, is what throws the spark in your mind, what solution am I supposed to present in this real-time situation if I am the protagonist, right? So this will obviously help you in your corporate as well when you enter into leadership roles in the future, because you will be provided with very limited information at the very last time. It'll be exactly like the case studies that we solve in the corporate world as well. So you're supposed to be on point solving those things, for which this case studies currently in your MBA classes will obviously help. And the fourth thing is to do post class what you're supposed to do, which is a reflection on the case study which you have given. So you are not supposed to just stick to the solution which was presented in the class. Always case problems don't have one particular solutions. There are multiple solutions and multiple approaches to solve it. So you can always explore ways, and even you can go one step beyond in analyzing the case again with the solution which was presented during the discussion. And maybe if you wanted to have a further more engagement, even you can Google it, or maybe like read through some books or reading materials, and maybe reflect on the solutions which would improve the way in which you're solving the cases. This is the most basic foundations which anybody can follow while following this case approach, because every day we do this. And mainly all the case studies have certain elements which any student can learn from. So for that, is following all these things would help. If there is there any questions from your end, yes, you can ask.
That is greatly explained, Sheila. That is actually very beautifully explained. As you also mentioned the thing that there are different approaches to crack a case, and we also get different cases for different subjects. So, what is your general approach to solve a case? Like if you get a case and you don't have any idea that how to get through it.
Okay. So, in terms of purely like what the classes is going to present you, it will be more or less at max maybe like 80% will be Harvard case studies, if I'm not wrong. And my approach during my course time was always to read the case uh, at least twice, even if I don't know the subject. Like I was from an tech background, and I did not have anything specific to whatever subject has been taught at an IIM. So I always read the case twice if I don't understand anything from the case, and I put my mind mainly into the exhibits which were given in the cases. So giving your mind into the exhibit, in the sense not just looking through the numbers, it is about how you interpret what is given in the exhibits. There will be certain hooks in the exhibit which really reflects on what needs to be taken out for for providing a solution to the case, right? So I always used to check the exhibits and note for points here and there. And one more important thing when it comes to case solving is that I always tend to first time when you read the case, you understand which is the important part of the case and which are the noises which you want to avoid from the case, which is not required for the case at all. So maybe like when going through the second time, it is very important for me to just notice this is the important thing which I need for the case. So that would help us in solving the case easier. And also going through the reading materials or maybe the chapters whichever has been provided will help us tune our mind in the way in which the case should be solved. And yes, actively participating in the class discussion obviously helps. Yeah.
And so, Sheila, as you were mentioning about your from tech background, so how
Yeah.
have you managed studying the finance and the other things, which was like completely non-commerce thing, and you ranked the first also. So how have you managed everything the same?
Okay. So
Actually, I want to add to her
yeah,
question.
yeah,
All
yeah.
three of us are also from tech background,
Okay.
and we are really struggling with the other subjects.
Okay. So important thing is that uh, just think that you don't know anything before you go to the class. Just think you don't know anything. So what generally you will do is you will try any means to learn what you can do for next day class. You just should have a mindset that or whatever it is. So the foundation or the preparation before the class is very important, which like literally helped me. And similarly, give equal weightage on the preparation right after the classes as well. So it's not just that you go to the class, you listen something and come back and move on to the next case. It is always about how you reflect on it. And yes, I do found it very difficult in terms of finances, economics, and operations was easy. Maybe for tech people, mathematics would easily come. Quant was easy, but yes, finance and economics was very heavy during my preparation as well. And yes, during the first 2 semesters, it would be difficult to cope up with whatever has been taught in the class. Put some extra efforts. That's what I would recommend. Maybe like engage with your friends who knows finance or economics. So it's not just about the classes where you spend time. Peer learning always helps. So for me in finance and economics, peer learning was the best thing which I did. So I had few of my friends who were there to help me out in certain subjects. So and help us in discussing also. Post class we do discuss and dedicatedly solve the certain topics which were there in finance and economics, which obviously helped every one of us who were from the non-finance background or non-commerce background to cope up with the subjects which were taught. And luckily, finance was turned out to be my interest area. And in the second year, I did majors in my finance. So yes, it was it was a bit different for me in my case. Since it was my interest area, I did put a lot of effort there. Yeah.
Okay, I hope we'll definitely keep your words in our account and do the same,
Okay.
and we'll pass with flying colors. So my next question is, what do you think, like, how pivotal it is to get into any clubs or committees and also handling the pressure of academics, since you were in one of the most premium council, I'd say. So how did you manage that, and how important it is for you to be in there?
Yeah. So being part of clubs and committee is like another it's not another route, it's a parallel line which you have to run along with your acads. This is not just like something you're supposed to do as like a whole time job, but yes, it is supposed to be managed parallelly, which means the same effort which you're going to put in your acads has to be similar way in which you're going to manage your clubs and committees. And being a part of clubs and committees do give a sense of responsibility for you people to take the ownership of your campus. So our campus is basically a student run campus, and being part of clubs and committees will give you that accountability and responsibility, and even make you more mature in terms of handling certain issues. So acads are just a part of IIM life. It's not the IIM life. And clubs and committees as well is a part of IIM life and not an IIM life. So it is all put together. There are other elements which you will obviously combine in later.
Thank you for your time.
Yeah.
And we have reached the end of this post podcast. It was really great interacting with you, and we are really thankful to you for taking out some time from your busy schedule. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Sheila.
Thank you, Sheila. Thank you
Thank,
so much.
thank you. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Thank you, and all the best to all of you guys.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. Thank you, everyone, for joining the podcast. We request you all to like, share, and comment the best part from the podcast which you have liked. Thank you.